clicking on the link.
And welcome everyone to the day 5th of our marathon. And so far it was quite interesting. I learned a lot of things. And I think that a lot of you actually learned a lot of things. That's why probably Federico was telling me we have a lot of questions for today, right, Federico?
So, hello everyone, and again, Pan and Lele, thank you again for being here. It's great to do this every day. I think it gives us a rhythm that the other times lacked. It's absolutely great, and we had awful lot of not awful the question in sense, but an awful lot of questions. So before we do the practice, let me just get one or two that right that in passing. The first one is I have a lot of them asking, okay, I have done visualizations and I have done a kind of body scanning, being it mindfulness themselves or in yoga or in something like that. Why the two of them together? And the main thing is we're going to do a lot of things together. We're going to do it next week, a more complex set of visualizations, which also requires some memory, right? And the last technique is going to get everything, the breathing, the body scanning, and the visualizations all together in one. Last one. So basically what we're doing is learning a set of skills, right? And if you want to do something, at least that's the way I do it. If you want to do something complex, the idea is to break it down and do every skill on its own. But one of the things we're trying to do is move a little bit into that complexity right from the start. So the first one that we did, the breathing meditation, very easy, just one kind of skill. Now this one also is mainly one kind of skill, it's body scanning, but it's a little bit of the visualization on it, right? On the second one. And the next one is going to be a little more complex, and the last one, I promise you, we're just going to do it once, so it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be challenging. It's the last mile of the marathon. You are tired. You want to just go home, but at the same time, it's the moment when you excel and when you challenge yourself and become greater than you are. Right? So that's the basic idea. So yes, we're going to kind of do things together. And the second thing about this combination is that if you do it just by main force, that is, if you're just going to say to yourself, relax, 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 perhaps you can relax a little bit. Perhaps you can relax a little bit, but it's not as effective as being aware. Being aware is the main key. And there's a lot of ways that you can become aware of something. You can just kind of focus, which is this kind of also main force approach, but you can also more indirectly join and do a lot of things that we discuss, and especially imagine. If you imagine something, and this is key because you can see it, I sent in yesterday's mails a lot of studies about athletes, for example, using visualization to improve the performance. If you can visualize something, you can start kind of replicating something of experience and start kind of dealing with it beforehand. And just for closing this part, there is one particular fighter. I don't know if you remember Muhammad Ali, the great champion, the great boxing champion. And when they asked him what his secret was, he said, of course, he had a lot of things going for him, but he says he always thought how to defeat his opponent, and the only thing he did is that, right? And I think that is key. When you only visualize something, you're preparing yourself for it. You start in a way you're already doing it, so you gain some experience. It's very good. And the second one, and let me make this one shorter than the other, is why when we do it the different parts of the cloud, I mentioned yesterday something that Lele very smartly asked. Why I mentioned smell or why I mentioned sound is because as real as you can make this, the effect will be better. Now, this is something that perhaps it best explained with a small simile. If you're going, for example, walking through the street and you're thinking, okay, I should get a croissant, right? I'm a little bit hungry, I could. This has some effect on you. Now, if you're going to the street and you pass through a pastry and you smell the smell of croissant, and you already have been thinking, I want to get a croissant. Now, I can assure you, my friend, that this time you will feel 10 times as motivated to go inside and get whatever it is, because you're adding a sense, right? This is the same thing. If you can remember something, if you can imagine something with more than one sense, it becomes stronger, a lot stronger. So if you can, when we are going to practice now, just not imagine the cloud as something that is seen, but as something that is there, as a tactile thing, as something that makes a small sound, like a small breath of air, as it has a smell and even a taste. If you can get to imagine a taste in your mouth, you will be a lot better than just doing it visual. So just to not take more time of the practice, guys. Anything else to add, or shall we start?
I just wanted to quickly say that we're living in these times where we're losing our connection with all our senses, and we have a lot of them, and everything is now, screen, and we're using a lot of our eyes. Like you're saying, if we could start connecting more with our smell, with our hearing, with our taste, with our feeling, then everything will be more powerful. And like you said, not only productivity will increase, performance, but all other aspects.
Right. That's 100% like that, and I agree. But we're losing every bit of connection to the more physical part of us.
And to help us to imagine, for example, if I want to connect a smell or a taste, is also anyway picking it up from our past experience, right? So what we already experienced, in our memories and so on, and just bringing it back into our imagination.
Right. It's great to do it from past experience. Say this smell like lemony, or this smell like, you can choose. You can choose whatever smell you want. Ask with the color, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But let me add something. If you're doing mindfulness, one of the greatest things that you could have in your home to help you is a spice rack. There is one particular technique that we cannot do it here because it's kind of difficult to give you everyone something to eat, right? Via the internet. But one of the mindful eating techniques is to eat something being completely aware. Now, if you can, I want you to try to smell something being completely aware. And this is a great way to connect the senses, right? To have something, to eat it, but to smell it, to feel it in your hands. This is a way to connect to the present moment also. So let's move on to the practice. And as always, we can kind of close our eyes. We can close them all the way, or just kind of close them. And let's take 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. And now that we're in this moment, in this place, on this time, we can imagine, if we want, a small cloud that begins forming up just before us. It is fluffy, very fluffy. And we can imagine it from any color and shape that we want. And now we're going to imagine that this fluffy cloud, this cloud that the screens slip on me, is getting closer and closer. And then it gets in touch with the crown of our head. And we're going to imagine the sensation of the touch. It is cold, perhaps. It is warm. You have to think and you have to discover it. And the cloud is going to start going down and enveloping our temples, our forehead. And we're going to feel it on our forehead. The same sensation. And going a little bit on our ears. The cloud makes sound a little bit different. We also can imagine that if you want. That it has a small hissing noise. And it's going a little bit down also. And it envelops our cheekbones, our nose. And we smell the smell that relaxes us and make us think of home, of being in the bed and relaxing in a lazy day. And it goes a little bit down and it touches our lips. And we imagine that we feel it in our lips and we taste it. It's a very similar taste to smell. But now it is more intense. And our jaw and our chin are enveloped. And then it goes down to our neck, to our shoulders. And we become aware of the body. But it drifts down to our chest, to our back. And it goes a little bit more down and down, to our stomach, to our lower back. To our hips, and our legs, and our feet. And now we're enveloped in the cloud. And we are aware of how all the body feels wrapped up, cuddled in it. And now, if we like it, we may keep this sensation for the rest of the day. The sensation of being alive and connected to our body and to the rest of the world. And we're going to take 3 more deep breaths, smelling and bringing the cloud in. 1, 2, we taste the cloud. And 3, and we can open our eyes. So how was it, guys?
It's nice to be in the cloud, actually.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm so glad.
I felt like I was like going into a fetal position, and I was just like warm and comfortable in the cloud and tasting it, And I actually felt it when I came back. I was like, wait, I'm sitting. I'm not in that position, but I felt like my whole body was.
That's absolutely great. That's absolutely great. So that's where we want. If you can have these 5-10 minutes of relaxation and go to sleep in the fetal position all curled up, this is the way that we want. Excellent, guys.
But at the same time, it keep your awareness of, so it's like it can be relaxed, but the important thing is to not fall asleep at the same time, right? So to keep all your senses on.
Right, but if you fall asleep at first, it's not that big a deal, especially in this kind of small meditations. Especially you're sitting, so if you're falling asleep, either you fall asleep like perfectly in position, which I can do. It's my only talent. I can fall asleep in any position, or usually you can wake up and when the moment you start rushing up. So it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather that you fall asleep, but you are relaxed and you're shedding stress, then you kind of remain all tense, right?
Yeah.
This time is kind of. So, guys, thank you so much. This is the end of the first race.
Thank you for the first week, Federico.
Oh, thank you. It has been a very interesting week, and you have the break this weekend, and we'll start again on Monday, right?
Yeah, we will be here on Monday still at 2 p.m. or whatever is your time, but basically it's this time. And with the day first of the second week, and it's going to be, as you said, a completely different kind of, horizon of practice. So it's going to be certainly interesting. Anything from you, Pat?
Thank you so much, Federico, Lele, everyone for watching. Have a beautiful weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Ciao.